Welcome back to Bow News Network. We are actually taking a closer look at Hurricane Grace as it actually makes landfall in the Mexico region. And this is actually the second landfall it's actually making. If you recall, it actually made a landfall on the eastern side of the Yucatan Peninsula region, impacting the region of Tulum, Cozumel, and Cancun. And it's brought a significant amount of really extreme weather to the Caribbean, impacting nations such as Dominican Republic, Haiti, Jamaica, Grand Cayman Islands, southern coast of Cuba, and now bringing destruction and mayhem to the Mexico coast. If you are new to this channel, please by all means smash that like button and go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We bring the latest information about weather in the continental United States as a Caribbean, taking a closer look at very extreme weather here in this hurricane season that has actually peaked and brought itself to a live very, very quickly with several storms in our scope. So let's take a closer look at Hurricane Grace first. As we can see, based on the latest information coming in from the National Hurricane Center, this system, the pressure has actually dropped. It was 982 on the previous update, 982 millibars. It has dropped to 967 millibars. Position is about 20.7 north, 95.7 west, and the winds are now 100 miles per hour. And it's actually has been strengthening as it gets closer and closer to landfall. It's a little bit less than 100 miles away from the coast at this particular time. We do anticipate that with it moving west at 10 miles per hour, it's going to cause a significant amount of destruction. Also, mudslides, torrential rain, very, very strong hurricane force winds. Keep in mind, this is maximum sustained at 100 miles per hour. We're not talking about gusts, powerful gusts that could be to the tune of 110 miles per hour or even higher. So we are hoping and praying that those who are in the path of this very, very strong hurricane have taken the necessary steps to prepare for very, very strong hurricane force winds. We do see it coming into the region of Mexico, somewhere around the Poza Rica area along the coastal town. But it's definitely going to be impacting, being that it's such a wide scoping storm, which we can see here from our GOS 16 infrared imagery. This is a very tight storm. We do see a well-defined eye wall as it's making its way, and it seems to it's been strengthening as it exited the Yucatan Peninsula area region near the Bay of Campeche into the Gulf of Mexico, and the system has actually just been tightening and tightening. Pressure has been falling gradually, which is a very, very strong indicator that it's actually organizing itself, feeding off of that very warm water. Sea surface temperatures are somewhere around 83 to 84, 85 degrees in most areas of the Gulf of Mexico. And the storm is just simply feeding off of this energy. But we have been tracking the pressure in millibars as it makes its way landfall, and that is usually a very good indicator of the strengthening. And we can actually see that cyclonic formation of a category 1, category 2 storm that is typical as it actually strengthens before landfall. We anticipate just before landfall it will probably strengthen a little bit more and intensify, which is very typical of hurricanes in the Gulf of Mexico, feeding off of that additional warm sea surface temperature energy before actually making landfall. But if we actually go back to our anticipated position, it's going to be impacting based on a previous forecast, possibly Mexico City, which has about just under 9 million people population. So we are a little bit concerned with a population of that size for a major city that is going to cause a significant amount of destruction, and of course all the people in Mexico City and the surrounding cities such as Toluca and Puebla will have to prepare for significant weather. Keep in mind, even as the system moves inland, we are looking at tropical storm force winds for cities such as Morelia and Santiago de Cuetaro, and most of the Hidalgo region. As it moves inland, it will start to weaken as it heads inland. But keep in mind, a storm of this magnitude entering at landfall of 100 miles per hour is still going to bring a significant amount of tropical force winds, as well as other extreme weather associated with it, even when it's inland, losing strength. So we're going to have to keep a very, very close eye on this system as it makes its way inland into Mexico. But we've been monitoring this hurricane throughout the day, and we're just seeing a significant amount of strengthening, and that is why we wanted to put together a second update, just so that for our subscribers, we can reach out there so we can provide them the latest information as far as what's actually happening with respect to Hurricane Grace and the path that it's taking just before landfall. We can actually see it on the hurricane tracker here, and based on our hurricane forecast tracker, we can actually see that it's actually hurricane force, hurricane warnings have been set along the coast, and that was a position as of 7 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, and we do see it downgrading to tropical storm as it makes its way, possibly based if we were to overlap and transpose this map with the forecast from the National Hurricane Center real quickly. We anticipate it will probably, once it's near Santiago de Cuetaro, it may be downgraded to a tropical storm and then a depression as it makes its way closer to Uruapan in Mexico. But just simply by correlating the position of 1 p.m. Saturday at possible downgrade to tropical storm, and then 1 a.m. Sunday to a tropical depression, and whatever is remaining of the system will exit into the ocean, and then we'll have to monitor and see what will be the path thereafter. As far as the system is concerned, residents in the center of that of Mexico, near Mexico City, should be taking this time to prepare as the system makes its way. The weather is going to decay very, very quickly in the early mornings of Saturday, and you may not have enough time on Saturday morning to prepare as far as getting enough food rations and necessary water supply and water provisions to withstand the storm should you lose access to electricity and utilities and other issues associated with hurricane force or tropical storm entering your region. So this is probably the best time for those in the center of the cone to prepare for probably grabbing additional rations, food and water in preparation for the storm impacting your locality very, very shortly. As we take a look at the continental United States, believe it or not, we are looking at a possible hurricane touching down, hurricane tropical storm Henri that's actually heading north-northwest, and that system is actually moving north-northwest at about it's going to be at about 6 miles per hour, very, very slowly, going to be impacting the region. We can clearly see it here on our precipitation model. The pressure here is around 994 millibars, and it's been slowly dropping, and that's another indicator of possibly strengthening as it makes its way towards Long Island. It's hard to believe that we're going to have to deal with in this region tropical storm, soon to be upgraded in a few hours to a hurricane once again, and the tropics have definitely awakened as far as systems. So we are in the peak. August is generally the peak of the hurricane season, and to come to think of it, we do have another basically 3 months to go, end of November, before we start tuning things down. So September, October, November, so it's still basically half of August to go. But as far as the rest of the country is concerned, we do see these two areas of extreme weather with Tropical Storm Henri and Hurricane Grace about to make landfall once again in Mexico. We are dealing with some scattered thunderstorms as well as unstable air mass in the region of Missouri and Iowa. We can clearly see that there's a low pressure system, a trough that's in the region of North Dakota, South Dakota region, and real well-defined boundary layer can be seen extending all the way down from Minnesota down into Missouri, as well as Iowa. So we are looking at some significant tropical storms. Also, as far as severe heat notices were recorded in Oklahoma, and we spotted on our temperature model earlier in our previous forecast significant amount of high temperature above normal anomalies in the region of Oklahoma and Kansas today. We saw that clear, distinct boundary line. So that was actually issued from Norman in Oklahoma as far as severe heat index later on this evening, as that diurnal heating set into place for the region of Oklahoma. So we do anticipate some very, very severe weather in that region. So we are looking at some real severe scattered thunderstorms as well as some powerful supercells being formed in the region along North Dakota going into Minnesota, and also along the region of Iowa and Oklahoma going down into Kansas and a little bit over into Missouri. So we're going to be continuing to monitor the continental United States as well as along with the weather across the United States going in for the remainder of today. And we do have our thoughts and prayers on the residents of Mexico as they prepare for Hurricane Grace. We were monitoring very, very seriously the Hurricane Iota and Eta and Iota when they impacted Honduras and Nicaragua in 2020 hurricane season, and if the level of devastation that was seen in with respect to those two storms is indicative of what's to come with Hurricane Grace, then we definitely do have our prayers for the citizens of Mexico as they prepare for Hurricane Grace, now packing winds of 100 miles per hour as it makes its way into Mexico, somewhere along the lines of along the coast here where we see Puerto Rico into the region of Hidalgo, and it's going to be impacting, going to be heading west, but based on the previous projection, it's going to be veering just a little bit to the south as it veers west. So residents of Mexico City will see changes in their weather pattern as the system makes its way over. So we're continuing to monitor the system. Hurricane Grace is definitely on our mind at this time. We'll continue to monitor it as it makes landfall in Mexico. 100 miles per hour at this time, moving west at 10 miles per hour. Pressure is around 982, possibly with the next update. The pressure may drop just a little bit more as it strengthens slightly before making that landfall. And we'll continue to monitor the tropics as far as developments with the hurricane as it makes its way into Mexico, and then tropical storm soon to be upgraded Hurricane Henri will make its way into the northeast. So we're going to be definitely watching it there to see what's going to be happening with that storm. Well, thank you for tuning in to Bao News Network. We wanted to provide you with another updates as far as the heat indices that we saw in the region of Oklahoma today that were issued by the National Hurricane Service Center and as well as NOAA. And we wanted to also give you an update on Hurricane Grace and Tropical Storm Henri. Once Henri gets a little bit more closer to the coastline, northeast coastline, Atlantic states, we're going to see some significant shower activity, possibly along the region of North Carolina into Virginia, Pennsylvania, and then we anticipate major landfall somewhere around the Long Island So we're going to be definitely watching this system as it makes its way inland. Well, thank you for watching Bound News Network. We do appreciate you tuning in. If you're new to this channel, as always, please go ahead, subscribe, and like and share this video, friends and family, especially those who are impacted by the weather. And we want to make sure that we got this update out to you so that you can stay ahead of the storm and ahead of the extreme weather, based on our weather reports, so you can make the best decision possible for you and your family and your life going forward, so you can stay ahead of the storm. Thank you for tuning in for Bound News Network. Have a great day and stay safe out there. Thank you so much.